Cinema Rose Podcast.
Episode 2. Welcome to the Cinema Rolls Podcast, where we talk about cinema and we have rules. I think I gotta find a better catchphrase because I don't think that works. But today we will be talking about Superman, the one from 1978, not the one with Henry Cavill. This movie was directed by Richard Donner and written by Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, Mario Puzo, and stars Christopher Reeve, Margot? Is it Margot Kidder?
Margot, yeah.
Gene Hackman. It also has Marlon Brando, and I'm surprised he's not listed here, being that that was a big thing in this movie.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, you wanna go first with your review and what you thought of the movie?
Yeah. So Superman. I love comic books. I love superheroes. Never been a fan of Superman.
Same.
But I give props is due, and he's basically the first. He's the prototype. Like, you wouldn't have the rest of what's important. Yeah. So I've only seen this movie once before, which was like over 10 years ago, probably about 15 years ago. I saw this movie for the first time. And honestly, then I didn't care for it so much. But watching it again, it's not bad. I enjoyed it. For the time, like, the special effects are pretty cool.
Great.
Yeah. You could tell that it was shot on film. Older movies, I love watching older movies because it's shot on film and it looks so great now, still, to this day.
It holds up, yeah.
Yeah. Not a whole lot I want to say about the movie. I did take some notes while I was watching it.
Nice.
Yeah. But first thing, just wanted to say, rest in peace, Gene Hackman, and Christopher Reeve, and everyone else for this movie that has unfortunately passed away since 78.
Yeah.
But Gene Hackman was pretty recent.
I saw on Max that they put the in memoriam of Gene Hackman in the front
before it starts. Yeah. So that was cool. His portrayal of Lex Luthor was good. I didn't understand his character that much. Like, why is he underground? Was he hiding from the law? Like,
they just never explained that. Yeah.
I love his lair. It's such like a super villain lair.
It's dope.
But
I know his lady was like complaining that they're living in this under the subway, under the street or whatever, and I was like, bro, look at this cool ass joint you guys got here, yo. This is a spot,
Yeah. But that was cool. I like the that it opened with the comic book, the Action Comics. Was it black and white? That was cool.
Yeah, I really like that too.
Obviously, the John Williams score, which is iconic. Like,
very iconic.
Yeah, I knew that music before I ever saw this movie, and I think same for a lot of people. The suits that they wore in the beginning, like on Krypton, that were like glowing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
it felt like it kind of looked similar to the lightsabers from Star Wars, like the same material, maybe.
Yeah, well, I looked into it because I wanted to know what it was, and they used the same material that they use for cinema screens, like the silver screen.
Oh, okay.
And I guess what it had is like little tiny like glass beads or balls, like over the material, and that's what caused it to reflect like that. I thought that was pretty cool. Like,
that is mad cool.
And the fact that it's made from the same material and it's being shown on the silver screen. I mean, that's awesome.
It's like a little silver screen inception.
Yeah. The montage they did when he was like going around saving everyone when he's like Superman, But he saved the cat and he gave it to the little girl. You can hear off screen that she gets slapped.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. Like he gives it to her and he takes it inside, or she takes it inside, and she tells.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, the mom's like, what I say about lying or something, right?
Yeah. And you can totally hear her slap.
Yeah, that's right.
So I thought that was hilarious.
That's funny.
And then when he has his interview with Lois Lane, I thought it was pretty dumb of him to reveal all his secrets. Like,
Just because she's hot.
I can't see through lead. This rock will kill me.
Right. Just gives her all the weaknesses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So I before that, like Lex Luthor was, he seemed mad that Superman was around and he didn't like him. I didn't know why. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Until like it reveals his master plan, which is to bomb the San Andreas fault.
Yeah, the fault line in California. Yeah.
Yeah. So that all this property you bought in the middle of the country become beachfront property and become rich.
Which is honestly kind of genius. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, damn, I might take some notes from Lex Luthor. I might become a villain.
Yeah. So like you could have Superman or have Superman or stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much most of my notes.
Yeah. But obviously, honestly, like if like Lex Luthor didn't go out of his way to try to stop Superman, I think he probably could have got away with it. You know what I mean? Like how would Superman even know about this guy's plans? You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's too
yeah. Saving cats. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's cool. You liked it though? You liked it? It was good. You thought it was a good movie?
No, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
What do you think?
I liked it a lot, actually. I thought it was I've never been a Superman fan either, and going into this, I wasn't thinking I wasn't gonna like it. I just thought I wouldn't have much interest in it. You know what I mean?
No.
But it was good. It was campy at times, but like I think it being kind of like the first superhero to kind of like a superhero movie to like establish superhero movies. And it sets all the stereotypes for itself. You know what I mean? After this movie came out, they didn't have any stereotypes for superhero movies until after this movie came out. I feel like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So like its campiness is like kind of original campiness. So it's only campy to us because now we're used to superhero movies. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was that aspect of it's kind of, if you're like, I don't know, I don't think a younger generation could watch this and not like just find it comical,
Right.
The special effects were honestly really cool. I was like, I was watching it, I was like, wow, these kind of hold up, like
yeah,
these like kind of like when he catches the helicopter, or I even like that. I really like the scene where he stops the thief and he's like standing on the building.
Yeah.
That part was cool. Obviously the turning back time by spinning the world the opposite direction is pretty corny and campy, but I mean, that's something I kind of knew existed already, so I wasn't like surprised by it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I can totally see why people caught like Superman fever after this movie came out.
Yeah, for sure. And it came out a year after Star Wars.
Yeah.
So people were already like on like the sci-fi train.
Yeah, some space waves.
Yeah, and they got music by John Williams, same guy.
Yeah. John Williams is an iconic composer.
Yeah.
He's done so many movies.
The music starts with like, oh, that's John Williams.
Yeah.
Before I see his name, like, I know this.
It almost, like, I feel like I can almost hear Star Wars in it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
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 Yeah, it was cool. I will say, I really liked the differences in like the different parts of the movies where like there was filmed, like the style of it was different for each part of the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like the opening with the kid opening the book. I feel like back then people were really unsure of whether or not you can make a superhero movie that wasn't corny, campy, or for kids or cartoonish. You know, and because back then, before that, they had what like Batman show from the '60s, and
Yeah.
that was, I don't know what else they might have had, but I think that's one of
I
the
think
bigger ones, right?
both Batman and Superman had serials that were shown in theaters, like really like short.
Right, that's right.
Like,
Yeah, and those were really corny, campy too. You even see him one of Kevin Smith's movies. He kind of makes fun of that a little bit
Yeah.
with Bluntman and Chronic. You know,
Yeah.
but so like before this movie came out, I feel like they weren't sure they can make a Superman movie without it being really corny and campy, and cartoony. And so when the kid's opening the book in the beginning, I feel like that was a good way to kind of start it. So tell the audience like, look, we're making a movie about a comic book, okay? Like you're gonna see some silly shit, all right? It's a part of the story. It's the kids reading it, okay? That's what's happening, you know.
Yeah.
And then the miniatures of Krypton were cool. The opening scene.
Those were cool.
Marlon Brando is an iconic actor. Apparently, he was kind of an asshole during this making of this movie.
Yeah, like he got top billing for the little bit of time he was in the movie.
Yeah, and he didn't really care. He just like took the money and ran, kind of. You know, like I even heard that he suggested that his character be played by a bagel or a green suitcase, and he just dub over it. You know, like he just really wasn't taking it seriously at all.
Yeah.
Which is kind of sad to hear. I like Marlon Brando. And yeah, the beginning shot a lot like a sci-fi, which is cool. And I think they kind of nailed it with the miniatures and all the like kind of like retro sci-fi stuff going on. And then when Superman's a kid, when he's like in high school, or whatever, that feels a lot like the way it's shot feels a lot like old like romance films, like Gone with the Wind or like Little House on the Prairie kind of thing, you know. Yeah. Like all those wide shots of the field, whatnot. It feels very like, you know, romancy, you know, Midwest romance. And then when it goes to Metropolis, it's like the camera totally changes. It's like moving, shuffling with all the characters. You really feel the hustle and bustle of Metropolis, which feels more like New York. But
it definitely was New York.
It's just New York, but yeah, I like that the style of the movie kind of changes throughout it. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. What do you think of Christopher Reeve's portrayal of both Clark Kent and Superman?
I loved it, honestly. I think he killed it. I totally understand why he got so famous after this. Like,
I understand why people didn't recognize that he was Superman.
Yeah,
there's such a difference between the two. Like you would never believe that Clark Kent was Superman.
Yeah, it was. I think he probably, after seeing this movie, I think he has my favorite portrayal of Clark Kent.
Yeah.
That like nerdy, like unsure of himself, you know, version. I was like, he nailed that. And I couldn't help but think of the monologue from Kill Bill 2. At the end of Kill Bill 2, Bill is monologuing about Superman and how he is that the clothes, we all see it as a costume, his Superman costume, but that's not a costume. That's his clothes. That's a blanket he was wrapped with when he was a baby, right? So Superman is his real identity, and Clark Kent is his alter ego. You know, and so in Kill Bill 2, he's explaining this, how Superman, he's confident, he's like this hot shit dude, and his alter ego, as playing one of us, as one of us normal citizen human people, is like a coward. He's unsure of himself. You know, he can't even seem to land a date with Lois Lane, but she's like wording for Superman. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm allowed to say just bleep that out. That was just bleep out.
Yeah, leaving snail trails all over Metropolis.
Yeah, but then Clark Kent comes up and she's like, "Get the fuck away from me, you fucking nerd." You know what I mean? I thought also too that was so funny that they're in the interview when they're talking, and she's like kind of like drooling all over him pretty much during the interview, and she's talking about his X-ray vision. She asked me if she could see through and see the color of her underwear. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, it's pink, by the way, right?"
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Do you like pink?" And I was like, "Oh my god, she's asking if he's gay." You know, that's what's happening out there, Eric. That's what I swear to God. She was like, "Do you like pink?" Pink meaning like, you know, vagina, right? You know, and she's asking him if he likes. That's what she's asking him. Bleep too. Just bleep that word out too. I feel like it's too vulgar. I'm being too vulgar this episode.
I just took it as, do you like her does he like her underwear? I think he did, but
that was her way of asking if he was gay or not, though. It's like, do you like women? I mean, I totally get it. Look at what he's wearing. He's wearing like tights, you know,
leotard.
A leotard.
Has his underwear on the outside of his pants.
I might question his sexuality too, you know.
Yeah.
No, I thought that was funny. There was a lot of little silly jokes like that throughout this movie too.
Yeah. Well, I think they knew how absurd the idea of Superman is.
Mm. Apparently, it was more campy than before Richard Donner got the script. Like, when he got the script, and he was like, "No, this is too campy." He tried to make it more realistic.
Yeah. I'm not
like,
surprised by that.
Wow.
Because I feel like a lot of comic book movies, I think, like maybe the 80s, 90s, kind of did it, but they take the comic books and they just like make them like stupid and funny and just quirky and like okay, like the book maybe sometimes like that, but the movie doesn't have to be, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, especially it's like they're probably trying to reach a wider audience, you know, make some money. Like, having it like so campy, I don't think it would work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. And should we go into how sad the Christopher Reeves documentary was?
Oh, it was so sad.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was
for audience. I just got done watching this documentary like not even 30 minutes before this podcast, and I feel like I needed those 30 minutes to recover before doing this podcast, because me and my girlfriend were just like sitting there weeping for a second. We had to like hold each other, you know, like.
Yeah. It's sad.
It was really sad. What a hero that guy was, though, huh?
For real. Like,
that guy seemed like he was amazing.
Yeah. It was 6'2" riding horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're high enough already. Why are you gonna get on a horse, dude? You know what I mean? Jeez Louise.
Yeah. But yeah, I had that unfortunate accident from the no-go chair.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he did a remake of Rear Window. I want to watch that now.
A remake of what? Sorry, my headphones cut out.
Rear Window. What are your favorites?
Oh yeah, I didn't know you made a remake of that either.
Yeah, I only watched the original, like I think last year. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, that's a huge cut.
Yeah, so I definitely like to see Christopher Reeve, you know, in that.
Yeah. I want to watch some of his movies now. I didn't know he even directed anything. So
yeah, we see directed, and then when they were listing off like the other movies he did, like they all sounded like they were all really different than Superman.
For sure.
That he was versatile and was willing to.
Yeah, at least he tried to be versatile. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think there's much else to say about that documentary besides it was really good. And if you need a good cry, you should definitely go check it out. And if you like Superman, you should check it out.
It was tough seeing Robin Williams
Oh my god.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
Glenn Close saying that if Christopher Reeve was still here, Robin would still be here. It's like, don't
Yeah.
say that.
I know. It's like they seem like they're like best friends. And he's Robin. Every time I find out anything about Robin Williams, I'm like, sheesh, what a guy that guy was, you know?
Right? Such a treasure.
Amazing.
Yeah.
For real. We're all lucky to have experienced him.
Yeah, we are.
Do you want to give this movie a rating out of 10, Eric?
A rating out of 10 for
The Superman movie, not the Christopher Reeve documentary.
Superman the movie. I think I'll give it an 8. Yeah.
That's a good rating.
Yeah.
That's a good rating. I feel like it's hard to rate it just because it's older, right? And not super old. It's 78, but like it's like the first superhero movie. So it's like it's got a lot of like nostalgia to it. It's got a lot of love to it. There's like it's iconic in more than one way, you know. And I think the fact that it's iconic gives it a higher score, you know.
Yeah.
At least for me, I think. I don't want to keep giving the same ratings you're giving out, but I feel like it's a solid 8. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Just because it does set the tropes for every comic book movie that follows.
Right.
And Superman's such an iconic character. They portrayed him well. Like even when he was like campy and silly, like you expect that, and because it's in this movie now, it's going to be in the rest. You know, so like it's not a nostalgia thing for me since I didn't really grow up watching it. I'm not a Superman fan.
Right.
Watched it for the first time as an adult. So yeah, for me, I think just because it's a good movie. It has stood the test of time. I say it's an 8.
Yeah, I think so. I think it could maybe even be higher, like 8.5 or something. I feel like it's because you got to think about things that were probably being made in 1978. I mean, the 70s was a good time for film, you know?
Yeah.
You got you got Scorsese jumping up on the scene with Taxi Driver, you know?
George Lucas
with Star Wars, Spielberg with Jaws,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, started the blockbuster.
Spielberg was actually, they wanted him to make this movie. I watched like 10 things you didn't know about Superman movie before. And one of them was Spielberg was meant to make this movie, but the stupid producers and stuff over at Warner Brothers, they're like, now let's see how this Jaws movie he makes is going to be. You know, he's like a newer filmmaker, or, you know, he hasn't really made anything. Let's see how Jaws does. And then Jaws fucking killed it. So I'm like,
yeah.
And then after Jaws came out, he was like, no, I want to do other shit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Spielberg. Yeah, that would have been a different movie for sure.
Yeah.
That would have been, I don't know if that would have been good or bad, but
I don't know. I wonder what you would have done with it. Yeah. But yeah, you got to compare it to movies that came out at that time. And as far as special effects go, I don't think anything was really being done like this. Like, I think they really achieved a lot of like great. They had a lot of great technical achievements in this movie.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying with the costumes, like now they would just use like CGI, just make them glow. But like,
right.
They found a material. They made it work. They had to make a few of them because apparently they got damaged pretty easily. Like the actors had to try to refrain from touching them.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. What do you think? This new Superman movie that was James Gunn. Yeah. Do you think it's going to be pretty similar to this movie at all? I feel like he's pulling a lot of inspiration from it just based off the trailers.
Yeah. Well, he's using the same music, so I think that's cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he is drawing inspiration from it. I think he probably grew up with the movie, but also it seems like he's pulling a lot from comics too.
Yeah.
Including a lot of different characters, and I think it looks good. It looks like the comic book come to life.
Yeah. Which I think that's a good thing for most comic book fans. You know.
Yeah, and I think it's a breath of fresh air because some comic book movies they're so different from the actual comic books, which they may still be good movies, but I don't know, it feels like it kind of loses some of the magic like that is comics. And when they're able to capture the essence of comic books on film, I just think that's great. You can
I agree.
in the trailer.
I agree. Yeah, it looks cool though. It looks really cool. I've actually, like you said at the beginning, I'm not a huge Superman fan. I actually used to kind of shit on Superman when I was younger. Just because I feel like he's so OP, and I felt like, and at the before I even learned anything about him, I used to say he was kind of like an unimaginative character. Like he grew up in a small town. What's the small town's name? Smallville. You know, where does he go to? And once he starts a job, a career, he's gonna go to a big city. Let's call it Metropolis. You know, it's just like there's like no. It feel like there's no like real, but creative, imaginative engine running behind it, other than the fact that they have a really cool superhero that can pretty much do anything. You know.
What I was wanting to know when I was watching this film is Superman, he finds the Fortress of Solitude, right? And apparently he's there for a while.
Yeah.
And then he just goes to Metropolis and instantly gets a job at the Daily Planet. It's like, does he even have a degree? Like, what's he doing?
I wanted to know how he even discovered how he can make the Fortress of Solitude in the middle of nowhere like that. Like, he was like, I'm just going to go up north. And then, like, he just throws the crystal randomly. Like, he doesn't even, there's nothing that even tells him, like, hey, throw it there. Like, hey, you know what? I have an idea. You know, he's just like, and then boom. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But no, I do agree. I always thought, like, he's overpowered. He's, nothing can really beat him unless you have the magic rock, you know. So, like, to me, it was just, like, not as creative, not as fun as some other characters. But I think that has something to do with just different people having written for Superman throughout the time. Because, as you know, they say, like, he's able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. So, like, before he couldn't even fly, he could jump.
Yeah, he just jumped. Yeah.
But he couldn't fly, but people just started adding powers to him as it, and so, like, oh, well,
what else can he do?
He has laser vision. Okay, now he has frost breath. Now he can fly. Bulletproof. So you could just do anything. So I always thought that was just kind of boring. Whereas, since I'm a Marvel guy, I always like that Marvel characters had problems, and they would run into problems that they couldn't just fix with their powers.
Yeah, I agree, but I did see something cool that was like, oh, he's supposed to be like, because the people that created him were Jewish, and it was kind of around the time where Germany was being stupid. And so they're like, let's give people hope, and they kind of made it as like an allegory of the story of Moses. Like someone that sends like their kid down a river or whatever, right? And he gets picked up or whatever. But instead of like freeing his people, instead he like saves people and helps people or whatever, right? So I thought that was cool. I feel like in this movie, they actually made it more of like an allegory to Jesus.
Yeah.
Because his dad, what's man's dad's name again?
Jonathan Kent, or his real dad?
His real dad. Jor-El,
yeah.
So Jor-El is like, I send my only son, right? And then like throughout the movie, he's like talking to him like with like a kind of like a Oh yeah, Mufasa head, right? So he kind of feels like God a bit,
Yeah.
So I feel like they made it more like an allegory to Jesus in the movie, but it was actually supposed to be more like Moses.
Yeah, that makes sense. It is interesting because the Nazis were doing their experiments and tried to make like a Superman.
Right.
Here are these couple of Jews that make a fictional character who is Superman.
Right. Yeah.
And then later on, I don't know if you've heard this story and the radio play that they used to do for Superman.
Yeah.
Actually, like
Didn't defeat Hitler.
He stopped the KKK.
Oh, the KKK.
What they would do is they somehow like was getting the information like what like secret codes and stuff that the KKK was using and putting it in the actual like teleplay.
Oh no way!
Yeah, the radio play, and so like the KKK was like, "How is Superman like getting our information, and why is he putting it out there?"
Hell yeah! Fuck you, KKK.
Yeah,
how you like that?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, you want to move on to the next category? I think we're doing another superhero movie, so I feel like recommendations are kind of off the table. But I was thinking instead, I kind of liked what we did last time, where we just kind of talked about what we watched. But I honestly didn't watch a lot of movies, so I think we should add TV too, like TV shows we're watching and stuff like that too.
Okay.
So,
Well, Righteous Gemstones just ended. That's a great show.
You watch all of it?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
I need to watch it. I only watched the first season. I need to watch the other seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, this was the fourth and final season. It's not my favorite season, but it's still good.
Yeah.
I really liked the pilot. Well, it's not the pilot since the season, but
the first episode.
The first episode, they did like a prequel like story, and it's
cool.
Bradley Cooper as
nice.
Like their like ancestors, like their great grandpa or great great grandpa.
Oh, nice.
And he actually wasn't a preacher. He was just like some drunk who killed a pastor. And then while he was in there, the church, who are they? The Civil War, the South. Those guys. They come by. They're like, "Hey, we need you to go be like the pastor for the troops." And so he just steals the pastor's clothes and first dates him.
Oh wow, that's so wild.
It takes his
like identity,
Bible.
I guess.
Well, he stole his identity, but he took his Bible, like his gold Bible, and he like goes with the troops, and he's like this terrible pastor. He's like gambling, drinking, and then they actually like meet. Was it the Union? The Yanks, and they like get destroyed, and because he's a minister, they let him live, and he does like the last prayer for these people who he's come to know, and that's when he like finally starts to take his faith seriously, and so he goes back to the he pulls out the Bible and actually starts reading the Bible stuff.
Whoa.
That's where it ends. You don't see that character ever again. I was like, that was a great episode.
It sounds really good.
I sounds like to see more of this.
It sounds like some good cinema right there.
Right. And this is Righteous Gemstones, which is just a straight comedy. Like
it was like a more serious episode, or was it still funny?
No, there were jokes, but it was very serious. Like,
oh, that's cool, yo.
Yeah. Like I really liked it. Like they need to make a series based on that character and just go from there. I wonder if McBride was his intention. I wonder if it was like because after this is the final season, you know what I mean? I wonder if he was kind of maybe trying to set himself up for something else. Could be.
Yeah, so he was like, fuck it, let me do something cool.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that episode was like, wow, this is awesome. And then they just go back to being bricks.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked the show. I didn't stop watching it because I didn't know that they had came out with new seasons. I was just busy with life, and then I think I saw a podcast with Dan McBride and Theo Vaughn. It's funny I talked about Theo Vaughn last time. I'm not constantly watching Theo Vaughn, by the way. This is just a coincidence. He was promoting the fourth season, and I was like, I didn't even know there was like. other seasons. I only watched the first, so
Yeah.
I got to check it out.
Yeah, there's total 4 seasons. Sean William Scott's in this season.
Nice.
Pretty
I feel like he's good for this show.
Yeah. Until the end where he like kind of like has a break. But
No
that,
spoilers.
yeah, I liked it. It's a good show.
Right on.
Yeah.
You watching anything else? Or is that just kind of the most recent thing?
Other than that, I'm getting caught up on Dragon Ball Daima.
Timer?
Yeah, I think I have 2 episodes left.
Nice. You're about the same place Arya's at. I think Arya's, because my daughter is Arya, by the way, audience. Yeah, she's watching it right now. I think she's about 2 episodes away from
Is
finishing
she
it.
watching the English stuff too?
Yeah.
That's why I'm behind, because they haven't fully solved yet.
Yeah, I can't wait. I watched the dub. I'm so used to the dub, by the way, now. So like, it's just like
Now I
I don't even think about it.
I started it. And watched the first 2 episodes. I just got busy and kind of forgot about it. And
Mhm.
then they're like, I think it was like 2 or 3 episodes in that they had in English already. It's like, I'll just watch it in English now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, other than that, nothing really new. I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine again. That's a great show.
Cool. Yeah, I know you like that show.
Yeah. What about
Cool. Let's see. I don't think I watched any other movies. I did. Oh, I know. I did watch. Fuck. Now I'm gonna forget the name of it again. I'm gonna do this every episode. I swear to God. Let me look it up because I really. Oh, something in Odessa. Something in Odessa. What's that dude from Pulp Fiction? He plays the thief in the beginning, and he keeps calling his wife Honey Bunny. Just chill, Honey Bunny.
Tim Roth, right?
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, wasn't it Tim? What? Tim Roth. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Good job, Aaron. I be killing it. I suck with names. Okay, known for photos struggling to navigate IMDb right now.
Chill, Honey Bunny.
She came out in the 90s, I think. And Little Odessa. That's what it's called, Little Odessa.
Yeah, I just pulled it.
Yeah. And it has the kid from Terminator in it.
Eddie Furlong.
American History X. Yes. Yes, that kid.
Nice.
He was not a kid anymore, but
No.
that guy. And this movie was pretty cool. And it was actually kind of sad. It kind of feels like it's been a while since I watched a movie like this. Actually, it feels like one of those. I feel like there's a time where a bunch of movies were coming out. And it was kind of like in anime we would call it a slice of life, right? Where it's just kind of about someone's life, an everyday person, right? But and their everyday struggles. But
Okay.
this person happens to be a kid in New York, and his brother is this crazy mob assassin character, and he's like a legend in their neighborhood. And he comes back because he has a job there, and he visits his brother and stuff. And I don't want to spoil the movie, but it goes on from there. And it was I watched this movie, and it was pretty good. I liked it. If you're into like mob movies, and if you're into like movies from the 90s, I would totally recommend this movie. This was pretty cool.
Nice.
And then I'm watching Severance. I'm struggling to finish it just because there's one episode that's all about his wife in the second season. Have you watched it, Eric?
I have. I don't know if I've gotten there yet, but I'm through the second season, I think.
I don't think I'm spoiling anything by saying there's an episode about his wife. I think
that makes sense, especially the time the first season ended.
Yeah, so at some point there's an episode about his wife, and I was like, this seems like it's going to be mad sad, and I just avoided it because I don't feel emotion. I did the same thing with The Bear.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't finish. I had one episode to watch with it for the longest, and I just avoided it because every episode was making me like emotional,
Yeah.
But Severance is cool. I'm enjoying that. And I really want to start Seth Rogen's new show on Apple TV too.
Same. I want to watch that.
Yeah, that's next on the list. I got to finish Severance first though.
Yeah. I did watch the trailer for Smashing Machine.
What do you think?
That looks crazy. I'm excited
Right?
for that. Yeah.
It looks good as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And, I mean, I guess it's a UFC movie, but I never really was into UFC or wrestling, but like some of these movies that are coming out are like really good. Like Iron Claw was great. Loved that movie.
So good.
Yeah. And even Fighting with My Family in Florence Pugh, like that was a good movie.
I never saw it. It was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And then there was The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke. That was a good movie too. Like,
yeah, I've only seen bits and pieces of that movie. I feel like it was on TV all the time, and I would just watch it. And I feel like it was because I wasn't watching it from beginning to end. I never knew what the heck was going on. So yeah. I just knew his performance was really good. That was about it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, some of these wrestling movies are like they really or they are good.
Yeah, they always have the same filter over them, though. You notice that?
Yeah.
Like they always have that like old school like boxing like sepia tone over it.
Yeah.
It's cool. It works. It makes it look way cooler.
Yeah. So you liked Iron Claw?
Yeah, I really liked that movie. It was talk about a movie that makes you cry. Holy crap!
I mean, I didn't, but I wanted to.
I cried like a baby. But right when should I spoil anything for anybody? I feel like it's kind of obvious.
A while, yeah.
It's been out a while. It's a biopic. All the history's there. But when Zac Efron's sitting in the lawn and he's watching his sons play, and he's like starts crying. Like it's like one or two tears coming down, and the kids are like, "What's wrong, Dad?" And he's like, "Well, I used to be a brother, and now I'm not a brother anymore." And then they're like, "We'll be your brothers." I was like, just rip my fucking heart out, take my eyes, I can't see this. I can't be here right now.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Yeah, just hit you right in the feels.
Yeah, it was really good. And then being a brother too, it's like, jeez, Louise.
Yeah, no, I don't know what I'd do if I lost my brothers.
Yeah,
like,
same.
Likewise. You guys are in different states, but still, like, if suddenly I was the only one left, like, I'd just be lost. I don't know.
That'd be rough. That'd be really rough. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. What I was going to say is there's a documentary series on HBO called Hollywood Demons. And each episode they talk about like different like celebrity or just different stories. But one episode was dedicated to that family. What was the Von Erich?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. What's the show called?
It's called Hollywood Demons.
Oh, wow.
They had a whole episode dedicated to Power Rangers. That was interesting.
Oh, it's with JDF?
They talked about him a little bit, yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like a sad show.
It is, especially with the first episode, because they talk about the dad from Seventh Heaven, which I love that show. Grew up with it. And like a few years ago, we find out that he was a weirdo and had exposed himself to an underage girl.
Yeah.
So,
and just weirdos will do it,
Yeah.
They'll expose themselves.
They expose themselves. And then their wives expose them to the world.
Yeah. So the wives they like to expose too, but they'll expose your secrets. They don't expose the things you want to see. They expose the things you don't want people to see. Let's see. What's the next segment of the show, Eric? Where we go from here normally? I say normally like we've been doing this for years.
Yeah, But I was going to ask, since we talking about Superman, do you have a favorite Superman or a favorite version of Superman, even if it's not like an actor, but like in comics or video games?
I feel like I'm biased just because I grew up with it and it was kind of brainwashed into me. But the animated Superman, the one that was kind of coming out around the same time Batman the Animated Series was coming out, and Justice League.
I mean, Justice League.
That's Superman to me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
But live action wise, or just any superhero, Superman. I mean,
well, I would just say anyone, but if you have a favorite live action,
nah, I'm still gonna go with the animated one.
I think my favorite overall is Henry Cavill. But
He is awesome. I was gonna say that, honestly, but
yeah, but I like the Smallville Tom Welling. I think it's his name.
oh really? I never watched that show.
I really liked that show when I was a kid. Like there
Yeah,
wasn't a whole lot of superhero shows on TV.
yeah. I wanted to check it out just because I knew it was about Superman, but it felt so much like One Tree Hill and like those other shows that were coming out around the time,
Well,
like those like
basically was. Well, because it's just like
the like high school dramas or whatever.
it's basically well, yeah, because he was in high school, but like saying like because the CW like did it again, you know, but this time the next time they did it a lot, they got Green Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, and they were all just like yeah, CW
Yeah.
dramas.
Right.
With, before that, it was WB dramas or UPN dramas.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. I have a funny memory about that show actually because I was at my Uncle Fredo's house and I think Milo was over there and they're all watching that show. I don't know if this was a thing that they did often, like got together to watch Smallville or what, but if they
They
just
probably got
happened.
together to you know inhale something else, and then they watch Smallville.
Yeah, what a habit that is, huh? Get high and watch Superman shows. But I remember there was a scene where Lois, is it Lois at that point? I don't ever watch the show. The main love interest.
But the main love interest of the show started out as Lana.
Okay, yeah,
I think
that
it does switch to Lois at some point.
one of the love interests. I don't know because I didn't watch the show, but she gets naked and she goes into the lake. And then the dude that plays Clark Kent, he gets naked and jumps in with her. And I remember being a kid, I want to say I was like 6 or 7. And I was like, why would he get naked with her? You know, why are you gonna get naked with her and jump on the lake with her? You know? I was just saying something because I thought it was funny and I was trying to sound like I wasn't a pervert, but like low key, I was like, I want to be him. But like, and then Mayo was like, he's like, trust me, when you get older, you'll want to get naked with her too. And I was like, I think about it now, and I was like, he was right. He was right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought it was interesting. It didn't look interesting to me just because I was a kid when it came out, and it looked like a high school drama show.
That's fair. I was all about those high school drama shows then. Like I love Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell is cool, but it's like more comedy, you know.
Yeah.
Boy Meets World is my favorite.
Love Boy Meets World. Still watch Boy Meets World.
Same. It's a comfort show for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I always just watch season 5 and 6, though. Honestly, it's my favorite season. That's my favorite season.
What senior year, like first year of college?
Yeah. Those are the best ones, I think. Especially those episodes where Corey cheats with the girl from the mountain girl. Oh, that's the best. So good.
You lied to Topeka.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. Is season 6 the underpants season?
You said season 6 what?
Is that the underpants season? Is that?
Yeah, that's underpants season.
Underpants.
Yeah. She had a right to be questionable about that. You know, his girlfriend sitting there with Sean. Sean through his underpants. I'd be mad too. What are you doing, bro? What's the pants on?
He was in the student union.
Yeah, I know, man. Sleeping on the couch in his underwear. All right, let's move to the next section of the show.
All right.
What's the next section of the show? You tell me. What did we do last time? I think that was kind of it, right? And then we just kind of oh, you know what? I think we kind of had final thoughts on the movie, and then
on Thunderbolts, we like double back to the movie.
Which was good. I thought I liked that.
Well, the end of the movie is pretty wild.
The end of the what?
The movie of Superman. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was crazy.
I mean, I am so lost on the science. It obviously makes no sense.
It was so much. It was, and I'm not gonna lie, I was so tired. I was like sleeping like 5 hours a night,
Yeah.
every night this week, just like working on stuff. And and that's not like me. I need at least like 8 hours. And so like I was watching the show like dozing off, and at the end is when I started to doze off. So, and like it was fun, it was weird because like I would doze, and then I'd wake up, and he'd be saving somebody new. I was like, what the fuck? Like how long was I asleep?
Uh, I'm just curious because he stops the one missile, right?
Mhm.
He didn't get the other one because there's two, which is why like earthquakes are happening and low.
The fault line. He has to go under there and like close it in.
Yeah, he
I thought
like
that was cool.
swimming in the magma. That was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, but he wasn't able to save Lois in time, right? Like he went around and saved all the other people.
Yeah. Yeah. Saved everybody but couldn't save the one person that barely mattered.
Yeah.
I did like the total drastic change in emotion in him when Lois died though. Like it kind of scared me for a second, bro.
Rage.
Yeah.
I thought
like the whole movie.
Luther.
Yeah, the whole movie he's like calm and composed. Even when he's like leaving after he saves people, he's like a nonchalant bye. You know,
Yeah.
like, and then Lois dies, and he's like, his face like morphed. You know, I was like, oh my god! Like, if I was tripping on acid and I saw it, I'd get really scared. I'm not gonna lie.
I wouldn't blame you. Yeah. Yeah, when he did that, I was like, oh, he's gonna go kill Luther because I know that like turning back time like was a thing, and he probably was going to do that if she was dead. But I didn't think that he did that until like the second movie. But
yeah, I didn't know it was going to happen in this movie either. Apparently, I heard it was supposed to be for the second movie. So, what's the director's name again? Donner, yeah, Richard Donner. He was making the second movie already. He was already like, after they had made the first movie, he already started working on the second one because he was like just pumping this shit out, right? And then when they actually decided to make the second movie, they got rid of him. But I think the reason why is because they ended up taking some of the footage that he made for the second movie and putting it in the first because they liked the visual of Superman spinning around the Earth so much. They just like put it in the first movie, you know. So I think that's why that whole sequence feels so kind of chaotic and random. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, so when he does that, he goes and he flies around the world to reverse the rotation to reverse time, right? Which makes no sense. I think he'd kill us all.
He would fuck up the whole, equilibrium that we have going on here, you know?
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. But
no,
just take it as is.
It's comic book.
He turns back time. The dam fixes itself because it's going back in time. But he doesn't stop that second missile. So I'm assuming the missile still hit, right?
But he doesn't go back to fix the fault line either, huh?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm so confused. But like, how does this work? Because like he just turns back time to where everyone,
yeah,
and everyone just seems to be okay. There's like, but are the events that happening? Doesn't he need to stop?
Right. Yeah. Technically, wouldn't they just start back up again? You know?
Yeah. Well, like, what's going on? Why did he just? Why is he saving people? He saved Lois. Like, I'm good.
You're so right, Eric. You turn back time, you save Lois, and you said fuck everybody else. And then you pull off into space like this, you know? Smiling, yo. Happy as hell. That's crazy.
No.
No, I didn't even think about that. That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was something. That was something. That was kind of corny, kind of campy, but the rest of it was really good. I really like when he first the first sequence we see of him in Metropolis, and like all that hustle and bustle, and people are going in and out of the office, and
Yeah.
And he's playing Clark Kent so well. He's all like dorky and nerdy. He's like, oh, sorry, excuse me. You know, like he fucking like saves the bullet. He catches the bullet and faints. And he's like,
It's
you know, and like that whole part, and then like also too when he's like saving everybody with the helicopter and he's stopping the thief. That was like my favorite part of the whole movie. That whole section of the movie was my favorite part.
It was good. That was good. One of my favorite scenes in the movie was like not a whole lot was going on, but it was I like the camera movement. So he was in the hallway. I think he was going after Lois and like asking her something. Then she went into the women's room, and then like the camera follows him around the corner to the elevators. They try to get on the elevator, but the elevator is going up. He's trying to go down, and like the guy's like going up.
Yeah, that whole was like fuck you, buddy.
that whole scene just showing him being like nerdy Clark Kent, but also it's just like the way it was shot and how the camera moved with him, like you said, like to show like the hustle and bustle of like the daily planet. Like it was just that was great. That's just great cinema. Like the way
it was,
shot, you know,
it was that part was really good.
And it is like it's such a like not an important part of the movie. But it was just shot so well. Like I just loved it. I loved that.
Yeah,
it was good.
It was really good. Yeah. Shout out to Christopher Reeves. Reeve, no S at the end.
Yeah, Reeve, no S.
Just S on the chest. That's all, you know. But yeah, shout out to that guy, RP. You know, you did amazing, my guy.
Yeah, he did. He really took his role seriously on and off screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did.
Justice in the American way.
He is Superman. That's the Superman right there.
Yeah.
But all right, you want to call it, Eric?
Sure, we can call it. You don't have.
What are we watching next? What are we watching next? I don't know what comes out next week. Is there anything coming? Let's look it up.
To see. Well, I think I will be seeing Friendship on Friday. So.
You are? Where?
I don't know. At a theater.
I want to see that movie.
The release date is the 16th, so it's this Friday, right?
It is? I thought it came out this week.
No, it had
a small release this week.
Yeah, a small release. There's a showing of it tomorrow at Alma Draft House, but I don't know if I'm going to go to that.
But it's a full release next week?
It's a full release on Friday.
All right, let's go see that movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that movie. I want to see that.
Me too. It looks good.
I love Paul Rudd.
I like Paul Rudd. Tim Robinson's funny.
This is a second movie about being friends with a man.
Although I think this one's will be a little different.
I think so too. Yeah, it's been probably a little more serious, but
Man is one of my favorite movies.
I love that movie. I showed that movie to Natalie, and then Natalie loved the showed it to her dad.
It's so good. I made Mom go watch that movie with us in theaters. So I'm like, you just need to go watch this.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So yeah, the other guy that's in that movie is he's that like comedian dude, right? He did like a bunch of sketches.
Yeah.
So is it gonna be
a show on Netflix?
Is it gonna be funny? I haven't really watched anything, but I just know that it's coming.
I've seen the trailer. Like it definitely has funny moments, but it's definitely is more like a dark comedy, like more.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
It looks good.
All right, so let's do that one.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, that was easy. Easier than last week.
Yeah.
All right, cool, Eric. Well, thank you everyone for listening to our podcast. That was episode 2 about Superman. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys will be back next week for this next episode. It's going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah. All right. See you.
All right. Bye, everyone.